Aurelius Augustinus, or Saint Augustine of Hippo, often simply as Augustine, was a Roman African, early Christian theologian and Neoplatonic philosopher from Numidia, or present Algeria, whose writings influenced the development of the Western Church and Western philosophy and indirectly all of Western Christianity.
Saint Augustine was a bishop of Hippo Regis in North Africa and is viewed as one of the most important church fathers of the Latin Church for his writings in the patristic period.
According to his contemporary Jerome, Augustine established anew the ancient faith.
In Roman Catholicism, he is formally recognized as a doctor of the Church or the Doctor of Grace because he saved the Church from dwindling due to criticisms towards the Christian doctrine and the Church.
His distinctive theological style shaped Latin Christianity in a way surpassed only by Scripture itself.
Saint Augustine of Hippo is the patron of brewers because of his conversion from a former life of loose living, which included parties, entertainment, and worldly ambitions.
His complete turnaround and conversion has been an inspiration to many who struggle with a particular vice or habit they long to break. This famous son of Saint Monica was born in Africa and spent many years of his life in wicked living and in false beliefs. Though he was one of the most intelligent men who ever lived, and though he had been brought up a Christian, his sense of impurity and his pride darkened his mind so much that he could not see or understand the divine truth anymore. Around the age of 17, Augustine ventured to Carthage to study in the school of rhetoric. He enjoyed his studies and took great pleasure in them.
While in school, he engaged in an illicit relationship with a woman as well as other immoral activities who bore him a son by the name of Adeodatus.
At this time in his life, Augustine had a real contempt for Christianity. His son's name means a gift from God. He would remain with this woman till his conversion at the age of 32. In his 31st year, he was strongly attracted to Neoplatonism by the logic of his development. The idealistic character of his philosophy awoke unbounded enthusiasm, and he was attracted to it also by its exposition of pure intellectual being and of the origin of evil. These doctrines brought him closer to the Church, though he did not yet grasp the full significance of its central doctrine of the personality of Jesus Christ. In his earlier writings, he names this acquaintance with the Neoplatonic teaching and its relation to Christianity as a turning point of his life. Help came in a curious way.
Overcome by his conflicting emotions, he left Alypius and threw himself down under a fig tree in tears. From a neighboring house came a child's voice repeating again and again the simple words, "To leech," which means take up and read. It seemed to him a heavenly indication. He picked up the copy of St. Paul's epistles, which he had left where he and Alypius had been sitting, and opened at Romans 13. When it came to the words, "Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness," it seemed to him that a decisive message had been sent to his own soul, and the resolve was taken. Once reading this passage and words that followed, Augustine resolved his life with the Lord and quickly went to Saint Monica, who rejoiced and gave praise to the God. What is the contribution of Saint Augustine in philosophy?
Saint Augustine is a 4th century philosopher whose groundbreaking philosophy infused Christian doctrine with Neoplatonism. Augustine's adaptation of classical thought to Christian teaching created a theological system of great power and lasting influence.
In summary, Neoplatonism is the belief that there is the One, who is a divine being that created everything. They believe that there is life after death, and that when we die, we'd all go back to the source.
Saint Augustine bridged the belief of Neoplatonism with the Christian doctrine and established anew the Christian faith. He also argues that skeptics have no basis for claiming to know that there is no knowledge. In a proof for existence similar to one later made famous by René Descartes, Augustine says,
"If I am mistaken, I am."
He is the first Western philosopher to promote what has come to be called the argument by analogy, against solipsism.
There are bodies external to mine that behave as I behave and that appear to be nourished as wines nourish. So by analogy, I am justified in believing that these bodies have a similar mental life to mine.
Augustine believes reason to be a uniquely human cognitive capacity that comprehends deductive truths and logical necessity. Additionally, Augustine adopts a subjective view of time and says
Time is nothing in reality, but exists only in the human mind's apprehension of reality.
he believes that time is not infinite because God created it. Augustine tries to reconcile his beliefs about free will, especially the belief that humans are morally responsible for their actions. With this belief that one's life is predestined, though initially optimistic about the ability of humans to behave morally, at the end he is pessimistic and thinks that original sin makes human moral behavior nearly impossible. If it were not for the rare appearance of an accidental and undeserved grace of God, humans could not be moral. His numerous written works, the most important of which are The City of God and Confessions, shaped the practice of biblical exegesis and helped lay the foundation for much of medieval and modern Christian thought. He is one of the Latin fathers of the Church and perhaps the most significant Christian thinker after St. Paul. His major works include The City of God. The City of God was in response to allegations that Christianity brought about the decline of Rome and is considered one of Augustine's most important works. As a work of one of the most influential church fathers, The City of God is a cornerstone of Western thought, expounding on many profound questions of theology, such as the suffering of the righteous, the existence of evil, the conflict between free will and divine omniscience, and the doctrine of original sin. It is a philosophical defense of Christianity that outlines a new way to understand human society. Another one is the Confessions. The Confessions consists of 13 books. It deals with spiritual self-examination. The work outlines St. Augustine's sinful youth and his conversion to Christianity. Confessions is generally considered one of Augustine's most important texts. Professor Henry Chadwick wrote that Confessions will always rank among the great masterpieces of Western literature.